Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. If you're joining us tonight on the YouTube stream, hello, let's wave, let's make sure I use the right hand so that everyone can see. Hello, hello you YouTubers, thank you very much for joining us on the stream. And if you are listening to us on the audio podcast, that's awesome too. In fact, that's where the majority of our listens happen. So without you, we would quite literally be nothing. And I'm saying that from the deepest part of my heart, in which also resides a little reminder that we do stream as well. So if you are listening to it, you could have been watching it on the video streams on YouTube, but it was your choice.
What's wrong with our faces?
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with our faces? Mine.
The main selling point of watching it live is that you get 4 of our faces, and I don't feel that's just adding enough value.
I do love how you started off completely no passive aggressiveness, and then we've suddenly gone into.
I'm a creature of habit. Anyway, I'm going to say just a quick hello to the TMT OH team. Dan, hello.
So, like, we started this, right? And as soon as Russ did his countdown thing, I'm like, I'm professional, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, oh, I need to burp. So the first thing anyone would have seen is me trying to, like, sneak out a burp with my thing on mute. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
But
you know,
hello.
Agonising heartburn for the next hour as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Hello, Duncan.
Hello, Tom. I am this evening not drinking Stormtrooper beer because I'm on the non-alcoholics. Instead, I mean, I would love it if Brooklyn sponsored us, but Brooklyn Special Effects.
Not the beer,
very nice.
the city.
The city, all of Brooklyn, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Nine.
hello, Russ.
Good evening. Tom, you're looking very smooth and sophisticated this evening. You look you look like you've just got back from like sneaking a box of chocolates into a lady's bedroom.
It's the black jumpers, isn't it? They do something. I can confirm, if my wife is watching, that I haven't been around anyone else's house. But if my wife isn't watching, that's totally where I've been.
Isn't your sister watching?
Yeah, my sister's watching, I think, tonight. Lydia, if you are watching, hello.
Hello.
If you're not watching and you're watching it on the repeat, what the fuck kind of support is this for your brother's podcast? Yeah, so Lydia, me, Dan, everyone else, and anyone else who's watching, hello as well.
This is one of the most professional starts.
Good 10 minutes in now. Should we maybe stop saying hello?
Yeah, so yeah.
Pretty problematic nowadays.
A little bit, yeah.
Like,
it's not.
It breaks into people's houses.
Pretty much.
Like, and to give them shit chocolate.
Pretty much.
They got they like
Not good.
cast a new one a year or two ago, didn't they? There's like you could be the Milk Tray Man. You had to audition, presumably by doing the Krypton Factor assault course, wearing a black roll neck.
I was about to say, mate, I can't walk across a.
Well, guys, I've got a surprise for you because he's here tonight on the podcast. Welcome, Larry Jeffords, the
Larry got it. Excellent.
Larry, yay, way to know.
What would be brilliant is at the end of the audition, if basically they're talking, and you just go and pick up a drink and just go.
So yeah, anyway, welcome to the podcast. We are going to be talking about news.
You got a very beguiling sort of yellow underglow to your thrust digit there.
Who?
Tom.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You've got a kind of demonic underlight going on.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Is it?
The news.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't happen on my face either. Yeah, no, I've got a little soft yellow coming in from the top. A little bit of soft blue going up from just above me here. It's melding into a sort of a gentle pink, which was all part of the plan. And that is our first news story. Dan, what's the next news story?
Let's kick things off with some Xbox news, shall we? We love Xbox here on this podcast. So, and I love the news. I didn't mention that, and I'm a little bit upset.
This is Dan's favourite show format, actually. Yeah.
I love the news. Grand Theft Auto 5 joins Xbox Game Pass this month, along with MLB The Show 21, a PlayStation game that is published by Major League Baseball, that went to Xbox and basically said, yeah, we'll gladly put this PlayStation game on Game Pass without Sony knowing about it. And it's not that they're annoyed, it's just that they can't do anything about it. So there is now, the show is going to be coming to Xbox this year anyway. But the fact that it's on Game Pass as well is like a major win for Xbox. Like I I don't really care one way or another. I won't play a baseball game because I haven't got time to sit and work my way through 185 games in a season on a sports game. I'm too busy driving cars in Forza for the millionth time, or sailing a boat in Sea of Thieves. Shout out to my fellow pirate legends out there watching this.
Yeah. Ha me hearties.
Apparently, I'm a bit quiet. Thanks, Dan. I'm whacking myself up a little bit.
I had a little go on Sea of Thieves. It's quite good. But I had what I imagine is the
really
typical Sea of Thieves experience, which is you go, yeah, I can fucking drive it on my own, shut up. You get lost and then somebody kills you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Pretty much. We should definitely all get together and play some Sea of Thieves at some point.
Yeah,
You're
we'll
gonna have
a
to do a
shanty
lot of.
evening.
You're going to have to do a lot of teaching.
I'll do
I fear.
teaching. I'm terrible at the game. I blew up the boat once by bringing a gunpowder barrel, happily bringing a gunpowder barrel onto the boat, and then just igniting it completely accidentally.
I heard that was a thing.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah. Someone says, but Chicago can actually win at baseball
They
That
did,
sounds
didn't
like
they?
a bit of a meta joke there.
because the Bears are shit. That's why. So yeah, and he's not wrong. The Bears are shit. Anyway, yeah. So MLB The Show is going to Game Pass at the end of the month,
Very cool.
along with the following games as well. GTA 5 heading to the cloud and
Heard of it, yeah.
console, which means that you can now play GTA 5 on your phone.
That's
which is
pretty awesome.
awesome. Zombie Army 4.
So
Disneyland
stop.
Adventure.
How does this cloud thing work?
So if you've got an Xbox Ultimate subscription,
Yeah.
you can sign up to xCloud, and you can play these games on your phone.
So this is like Stadia, like it's
Yeah.
rendered
Yeah.
elsewhere and you just stream it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or if you can get remote plays really, really good as well. I think you need a Series X for remote play. I might be wrong on that one.
Mm.
But it's really cool. I was playing Forza on my phone earlier.
Forza 4. So
Forza Horizon 4. Nope, that didn't work.
I was just going to say
Bold attempt.
this IKEA cup has kept my tea nice and hot tonight.
Same place.
We're
Just
setting
sort
our
of
sights a
saying
little bit lower than are we with IKEA this time?
Yeah, a little bit of IKEA. And of course, my computer is kept clean thanks to Dettol. Just one wipe. All gone. All gone.
More games coming to Game Pass. I've got a lot of news to get through, guys.
And my fresh and dry balls are.
Oh my god!
Sorry, carry on, Dan. I was just getting the sponsorship stuff out of the way. And...
Please, please
Again,
hear about
we've been over this, but nobody on this podcast understands how sponsorship works.
don't just say what. NHL 21, that's coming to Game Pass. Rain on Your Parade, which Tom just did, coming to Game Pass as well. Pathway, and obviously MLB The Show as well. And then Deliver Us the Moon, coming to console and PC. Although I thought that was... Oh, they're leaving Game Pass. That's not good.
Deliver Us the Moon is
really good.
Good game.
I need to finish that. Gato Roboto, Wargroove, and a
Down
ton
and Gremlin.
Down and Gremlin, and a ton of Madden games as well. They're all leaving.
Awesome. I mean, not awesome. Not awesome.
And also, I didn't mean to shame Dan for not being a pirate legend, because he's so close, and we're going to get you there, Dan. We're going to get you to pirate legend. Like Jack got me to pirate legend, who's also watching the stream as well. It's just full of pirates, this stream.
Chock-a-block with pirates.
Yeah. You wouldn't steal a car. Anyway, so...
No, because it's easier to steal a DVD.
Exactly, yeah.
It's easier to steal a film.
Yeah,
It is.
much easier. Has everyone watched the Jupiter's Legacy trailer?
No.
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 This will be quick news then. Looks quite good. It's the latest thing from Mark Millar. Mark Millar, whatever.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
I think so. It's Mark Millar. I'm pretty certain of it. Yeah.
Millar.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I
so
can tell you
how
exactly
pronounce
what
it.
I have been watching.
Yeah. What?
A lot of running backs. Because I do another podcast with you. And when I haven't been staring down a microscope counting seaweed or stuff that's settled on the rope,
Counting seaweed.
I knew it.
Surely.
I always
Surely
quite
it's more
respected
complicated.
you and thought there was more to your job than this, but you count seaweed.
well, actually, I got myself a microscope to
One
link into the
seaweed. Two
laptop,
seaweed.
taking photos of rope where as we're looking for amount of. It's not quite counting the seaweed.
No,
it is
that's fine.
looking-
Don't worry. As long as there is more to it than counting seaweed.
There's more to it than counting
Good.
seaweed.
Good.
And I've been watching Running Backs. This is why I have not watched Jupiter.
Legacy trailer.
Yeah, that's the
So
bad.
is this a film? What's coming out in a cinema?
It's a series. What's coming out on Netflix?
Oh, right.
Looks quite good. That's all. If we haven't watched it, we'll cover it on the other podcast, Marveling Marvel, where we talk about everything superhero and comic books.
Yeah.
Oh, even if they're not Marvel things.
Yeah. Well, we
You're
just
gonna have to
couldn't
change-
help
You're going to have to
ourselves. We had
expand
to
your
talk,
remit and change your
we
name
had to
again.
talk about.
Because
We had to talk about the Snyder Cut.
Because the format is forever changing, and so the name might also change.
Yes, the name's changed already. Also, there's a new Ghostbusters Afterlife clip with mini puffs.
That's one of those films that just disappeared into sort of a holding pattern, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the trailer made it look really good. I really fancied that film.
It'll still be released.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
always confused about the mini puffs because, like, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was a thing because that was what Gozer the Gozerian took the form of because Ray Stantz thought of it. Like,
Yeah.
and then it became almost like a series icon in the animated series, and now it's basically so synonymous with the lore of that series that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man just seems to keep coming back, which confuses me a little bit to the point where I actually have to scratch my head like they do in films. You know.
So yeah, these little mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Men look super cute in the clip that's been released. So I suggest go and watch it. I'm quite excited about that Ghostbusters film.
Hey, it's more Ghostbusters, man. I really enjoyed the one that everyone didn't.
I
Or
did.
a lot of people didn't.
I did not enjoy it. Let me put it that way. I thought it was good.
It was a
Like-
solid 3-star
Yeah.
film. It was funny-ish, but it felt quite non-essential.
Yeah,
But-
I couldn't tell you much that happened in that film.
Chris Hemsworth was in it, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's got him scratching his eyes through his glasses. I remember that much.
It's got a really good one a really good joke where he holds up a picture of himself, and he goes, "So, guys, do I look better playing saxophone or listening to saxophone?" He's literally just holding a saxophone to his head. In the picture, it's like that bit always amuses me, but never fails. Never
It's great.
fails.
Chris Hemsworth is a very funny man.
Hmm.
Am I still quiet, people in chat? Can you let me know, if possible? Sorry, Dan. He says he did feel a sting there. I didn't mean to criticize him for not being a pirate legend. He's a pirate legend in my heart. That's the important thing. Paul Edge says Mark and Lard. Okay, and Dan also says if I could steal a car by downloading one on a torrent, I would. There we go.
Yeah, that's why stealing cars never reached the same level of popularity. They just didn't make it easy enough.
Yeah. Going back to our conversation about Game Pass, some games you won't need a controller for, so they're adding touch controls to some of the games. which
Oh,
is
right.
really
So
handy.
if you're playing them on your phone, you don't need to have a Bluetooth controller type thingy.
50 plus cloud compatible games on Xbox Game Pass.
That's pretty cool.
Will have it. So
That's pretty damn impressive.
includes
Really.
Slay the Spire, Sea of Thieves, Spiritfarer, Gears 5, Tell Me Why, Dead Cells.
Oh, Dead Cells.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul S. he misheard Mark Millar. He thought I said Mark and Lard.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense now. No. Although I used to love Mark and Lard.
Could you imagine Mark and Lord?
that felt a little bit out of left field.
Yeah, that's why I was a bit confused, but that makes total sense now. My favourite thing that Mark and Lard used to do was the Blue Tones one with Slight Return.
Mhm.
And where it started with where did you go? And then for a good 5 minutes they'd go, where'd he go? And like they'd do it like 5-6 times as well. Yeah. That was good.
Mouse.
Borderlands cast, the movie. They've added some people to it.
Okay.
So we have Kate Blanchett is playing Lilith, which I quite like. That's good casting. Roland will be played by Kevin Hart. Atlas, Edgar Ramirez. Krieg, Florian Munteanu. Tiny Tina, Ariana Greenblatt, and Claptrap will be played by Jack Black. Movie's being directed by Eli Roth. I didn't that part slipped straight past me.
So there's going to be torture porn in it at some point.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. Yeah, but Claptrap being voiced by Jack Black, I'm kind of
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
and there's going to be so many more actors now going. Well, when you're working on a film with Jack Black, you've just got to try and match his energy, and you just got to try and keep up, and that's what they're going to be saying. So look out for those interviews on telly.
Yeah, look out!
It's like this podcast was really well prepared and planned, and not.
Hey, this is exactly as well planned as anything else we've put out there.
Fair.
Fair.
News.
Oh, this is heartbreaking. Time Splitters 2 4K port hidden inside of Homefront Revolution game, but the unlock code is lost.
This story absolutely killed me. I love the idea that it was literally on a, what was it? Was it a Discord or a Reddit forum or some channel, a forum, wasn't it, somewhere where he sent it to someone and they shut it down because people were just like, no, don't believe it. But yeah, apparently there's the entire game, even with its multiplayer stack.
Yep. 4K port of Time Splitters 2 hidden inside a shite game. And
there's no way to get to it.
There, and there's no way of playing the whole game.
Because it's actually on an in-game arcade machine. You actually have to go onto an in-game arcade machine and input a code, and then you can access the port. But no one knows what the code is, so it's literally just sat there. Nothing to do with,
Somebody reverse engineer it eventually.
Oh, Jesus, though. Just one of my all-time favourite games just sitting there.
It's quality, isn't it?
Played. Yeah.
Although it does have one of the all-time hardest levels in it, which is where the almost James Bond sort of Austin Powers guy, and you have to go through that.
Atom Smasher.
Yeah, and you have to go through that fucking mission, like trying to get flick all those switches while just literally under barrage assault the whole time. It's awful. It's so hard.
It's all those goons in yellow jumpsuits, isn't it?
That's the ones. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, just sitting there on a made-up arcade machine, not being able to be played. Yeah, it's a great story. The idea that this whole game is just sitting there and no one can actually play it.
Brilliant, isn't it?
They've lost the code.
It's just
a lot of fun.
It's funny though, because like in the original Day of the Tentacle, they hid the entire Maniac Mansion game in the computer of one of the characters. Like you could walk into his office and you could play on his computer and you could play the whole preceding game. And it was just free. It was just all part of it. Like you just kind of think to yourself, why don't more developers do that? Just throw their own games into these things and just let people fucking play them.
They did it in Uncharted 4 as well, didn't they?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot's in there, which is really cool.
It's very cool. I like that it's also part of the sort of showing how much they are a couple in the beginning as well. Look, we play video games.
They're playing Crash Bandicoot, taking it in turns to try and beat each other's scores.
Yeah, it's quite cute.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Sebastian Stan, fans try activating him when they meet him at conventions.
Oh God! Can you? I bet everyone in the queue is like, "I've got the best idea. He's never going to have heard this."
Yeah. No. Apparently, it's a thing, and apparently, he's been heard numerous times now. This is exciting news. I don't know what people thought of Star Trek Picard. I thought it was a solid okay.
I've still not got around to seeing it, but definitely want to.
Season 2 teaser is confirming the return of Q, who is probably my favourite Star Trek Next Gen character.
It certainly adds a welcome bit of chaos to that series.
Yeah, having this guy that can just do anything he wants. The episode where he becomes human is probably up there as one of my favourite. That apart from what's the Borg one called where
he flicks them forward in time to encounter
Yeah.
the Borg, and then suddenly flicks them back. Yeah, that is a genius episode.
That's right at the start.
That's
isn't it?
right at the start, yeah. But what's the Borg episode where Picard becomes Locutus? I'm sure Paul will know in the chat.
Paul, don't let us down.
And it's not Encounter at Farpoint, is it? That is Encounter at Farpoint.
That's
is
the first episode.
First episode, yeah. God, what's it fucking called? I want to say Days of Future Past, but I know it's not that. I know.
Future Days of the Past.
Yeah, Future
Past,
Days of
past,
Past.
Days of the Future.
Yeah, the best of both worlds. Thank you, Paul. Yes, that's the one.
the
Yeah,
bunny.
that's like the all-time best Star Trek: The Next Generation episodes. But a close second is the one where Q becomes human.
The
Really,
worth
really
of
good.
boast worlds. I did mean to say it.
Thank you very much, Paul. That's the one.
Yes.
Marv, yeah, go on. You gonna say something? Oh, news.
Yes.
Okay. Marvel's Avengers, Borderlands 3, The Long Dark joining PlayStation Now this week. And in the tiniest little writing, it says Marvel's Avengers only available for 2 months PlayStation Now.
That blows.
as a demo, because no one's playing this fucker. So
It's a real shame.
I've deleted it off my Xbox.
Well, I mean, you've got to put other stuff on that hard drive.
Exactly, yeah.
Putting
Make
stuff
more
up on
room
your
for-
service like that for 2 months, it's not. That's not what people want to use it for.
No. No, definitely not.
It's like you accept. It's the same with Netflix. You know, stuff comes, stuff goes. You don't own those games,
No.
but yeah, things don't go up on Game Pass for just a couple of months and then disappear. They're not using it as a marketing tool to drive people to then just go and buy the full game.
No.
I'm
These
sure
are the
they
games
wouldn't
that
mind
are
if you did,
marketing
but that's
tools
not
to buy
really
Game Pass.
how they're using it.
More news.
News.
Let's get into some Star Wars news. Several popular Star Wars Legends canon novels are being republished with new cover art as part of an Essential Legends collection for the franchise's 50th anniversary. Heir to the Empire, Darth Bane, Path of Destruction, and the Mace Windu focused Shatterpoint will be the first books to be republished and made available for purchase on June 15th. Shatterpoint will also receive a brand new unabridged audio edition. Additional Legends canon novels will be republished this fall. This is all according to IGN anyway. For what it's worth, when a Twitter user jokingly requested that the X-Wing series of novels be republished, stay tuned. And if you get a chance, have a look, because the front covers look really fucking cool.
The Bane, the Darth Bane, like the Rise of Bane,
Yeah.
Darth Bane, is one of the best expanded universe novels out there. It's superb. It's basically, it's not really spoilers to say, but Darth Bane in canon is effectively the first Sith Lord that instigates the rule of two,
Yeah.
the Master and the Apprentice, one to embody the power, one to crave the power, and it's him taking on the Apprentice Darth Zana that this story kind of covers, and also his part in pulling down the Order of the Sith Lords as well. It's brilliant, really good. Can't recommend it enough.
Also, he collapses that American football stadium in that Batman film as well.
He does, yeah. What a lovely singing voice.
It will be painful.
For you.
For you.
I think every
Apparently-
single episode that we do, we take the piss out of that line.
It's
But
fucking
it
awful.
deserves it.
Yeah.
It really does.
I watched a few clips of Dark Knight Rises and I didn't hate them, so I might rewatch Dark Knight Rises. Maybe I've changed my opinion on it.
The police chase when they chase him on the bat pod, and it does that wicked, and then goes up the alleyway, and then the bat comes flying out. That's the tits. That's brilliant. That bit, really, really good.
Yeah.
That's the tits.
Also, I
That's the
quite
tits.
like the double cross from Talia as well, even though you know it's coming.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Apparently, it's the PS4 version as well that's coming to PlayStation now as well. It's not even the PS5 version, so
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
on fire there, Sony. Whilst we're talking about Sony, they shut down their PlayStation 3, PS Vita, and PSP stores. And with the nature of games nowadays, that means that some games are now just completely lost. Some games are unupdatable, and some games are unplayable now.
Yeah, and so that probably means that there's going to be a bit of a scrabble for pre-owned carts for some of these particular games, which isn't too bad because it's nice to see that some of those games still thrive in sort of second-hand and used shops. Personally, I feel that's quite good.
The problem being that just some of those games were just online only, and they just don't exist anymore.
Oh well, yeah, I mean that, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird sort of. I suppose you can't they're not obliged to support these games that have got like 6 people playing with them forever and ever.
I think it's it should be a suitable warning that when you're downloading these games, you never actually own them.
Well, if you actually ever read an EULA, that's exactly what it says.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is a suitable warning. It's just one that nobody ever reads.
100%, yeah. But this is like a fairly waving your hands in the air, holding 2 flares on the edge of Alcatraz kind of warning, isn't it?
Do you know,
it's only really shitty if they're doing stuff like still selling it at full price and then switch the servers off a week later. That's a dick move.
I agree with that. I also, it's kind of sad to see the PSP and the PS Vita go, really, because they're 2 handheld consoles that actually
really good,
but held a bit of promise. Actually, I think unfortunately Sony fell into the pitfall which usually comes with handheld portables, which is unless it's something like the Nintendo Switch, which has actually managed to have the AAA games on it, and you can play AAA portable and all that kind of stuff. That really is one of the biggest good things about a Switch, actually, is that the PSP, for instance, it was touted as being, a portable PlayStation. The games you play on PlayStation, you're going to be able to play them handheld, but they weren't. They were made for platform sort of versions. They would deviate quite heavily. PS Vita suffered quite significantly with its Uncharted games, but so people thought, brilliant, we're going to be able to play the Uncharted games on the Vita, and of course they weren't. They were sort of Uncharted stories that had been created as a game for, there was hardware limitations, and it's a bit of a shame, really. It was almost like a lost opportunity, maybe a bit too early.
Where it kind of shines though was that, this was for the longest time the only place you could play indie games on that were generally only available on PC. Before they come to consoles, before even they'd consider coming to consoles, you'd be able to get them on PS Vita, stuff like Hotline Miami, for example.
Game.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Vita game that you could generally only get on PC, other than these weird little handheld outlets like PS Vita. So yeah,
I didn't think the Vita was that old. I mean, are they basically just discontinuing and cutting off all support for it?
So, on that subject, Jax just said the PS Vita is only 9 years old. There were still devs developing games, and they only found out when everyone else did that they were closing it. That's awful.
Bit shocking. Yeah, a bit shocking.
That's a bit crappy. I do accept that at some point they have to call time on these old things, and backwards compatibility is great, but it does mean that has to be support for all this stuff going back forever.
Yeah.
The cat's just going ahead being a dickhead. Just walking all over.
Is that why your microphone's wobbling?
Yeah, I'm walking all over my mixer.
I thought you were having some sort of intimate problem. You just looked down in horror and then your microphone started twitching.
Fuck you. Anyway, yeah. So, more good Microsoft news though. They won a Twitter competition. What was it? So I'm just reading it now. Microsoft to make Series X fuck off mini fridge after winning the Best of Tweets championship. So they promised they would make mini fridges if they won this championship against go away.
I obviously don't spend enough time on social media anymore because I have no idea what you're talking about. But are you saying that they are going to be actually releasing, you can buy an Xbox fridge?
You'll be able to buy an Xbox Series X mini fridge now because they promised they'd make them.
Which is the exact same size as a Series X.
Surely that if you wanted a mini fridge, you would want the PS5. Because in that...
Considering it already looks like a fridge.
No, but the Series X looks like a fridge. That's been the running joke. And Microsoft just leaned into it.
Also, isn't the PS5 about the same size as a normal American fridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I see the joke you're going for, but you missed the obvious one, which is that the Xbox Series X actually looks like a fridge.
We got that,
they're rectangles.
Yeah, exactly.
We felt the PS5 one was funnier though. Tom and I both felt it was funny.
It wasn't.
I'm going to take you up on this. The PS5 doesn't look like a fridge. If you had a fridge that looked like a PS5, it'd be a fucking weird fridge.
It would.
Well,
yeah.
The PS3 looked like a fridge with the curved front. You could see that sort of opening.
Oh yeah, if you stood it
Well-
up, you could say that would look like.
Well,
a fridge.
Duncan and I are going to be texting each other this joke later, and we're going to be laughing about it for hours. Like, we're going to have a great time.
I'll
with
wake
this.
up in the middle of the
Doesn't look
night
like
and
a
I'll
fridge.
hear something on the wind.
The Switch looks like a George Foreman grill. That fucking doesn't.
Just bought one, actually.
The
a sort of former grill.
PS3 looked like a George Foreman.
Can't play shit on it.
The PS3 looked exactly like a George Foreman grill.
Yeah, it did. It did. But I think I've got one.
Cat, I can see you looking at my chips. If you sneeze on them, good lord. Jack says Sony hates the idea of backward compatibility. Yep, they've come out saying they don't see the point of it. Like, it's such an easy win, and they just seem to refuse to believe that it's important. Dan
Do you know
asks,
what I used to like about Sony, and that hasn't got on my phone anymore, but they did have that thing when the PS, maybe it was when they released the Vita actually, and you could play their games on the phone because you get the Sony account and your the extra app.
that's PlayStation. That is PlayStation Now. I think that is part of it.
This was.
Yeah.
I am talking 7 years ago.
Was it like a Sony phone thing? If you had a Sony mate?
It was a Sony, and so you could play some Sony games on the phone. I think I got one racing game once, and that was about it. I never really did it, but you could, and I thought that was very cool. So
Jack-
it seems Sony are just being backward.
Jack brings up the biggest issue with this is that going back to Sony, the biggest problem is that they have separate stores for each storefront. So they've got a separate PS3 store, they've got a separate PS4 store. So as a result, they have to close some of them every now and then.
Yeah.
Whereas all Xbox consoles essentially use the same store.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even
basically
just
one
Xbox
store.
consoles, is it? It's
Yeah.
It's all ultimately
Microsoft Store.
you can buy you can buy PC games on there.
Although I am slightly, I do find myself slightly wanting with the the PC Microsoft storefront, because I'm like, I see Game Pass games on the Xbox, and I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be badass to see if that's on a PC. And I go to the PC store, and I'm like, that's not on Game Pass for PC yet. Damn it!
No, but you get Age of Empires and Flight Sim. So you get all the
But you
PC.
don't
stuff
get
in the same
PC
deal.
Builder, do you? No. You
No,
have to
that's cheap at the moment on
GOG.
on stream
Yeah, it's-
on
that's
stream,
one of those games that's always sort of cheap somewhere.
on Steam as well. Yeah.
Oh, PC Building Simulator, mate. It's it's my second job.
My
Running
my
that-
stick of RAM that wasn't lighting up is lighting up again now, so all is good in the world.
Oh, what does it turn out to be?
Took it out, wiggled it, blew on it, stuck it back in.
Fair dues, just
So it turned
contact
out it was a
issue.
Mega Drive cartridge. Excellent.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't know what was wrong with it. It was working. It was doing whatever it is that RAM does, but it wasn't doing the important thing of glowing.
Just can't get the help these days, can you?
DC cancels New Gods movie and Aquaman spin-off The Trench. As part of our, this is according to IGN, as part of our DC slate, some legacy development titles, including New Gods and The Trench, will not be moving forward. Warner Brothers and DC said in a statement, DHR. We thank our partners Ava DuVernay, Tom King, James Wan, and James Safran for their time and collaboration during this process, and look forward to our continued partnership with them on other DC stories. The project will remain in their skillful hands if they were to move forward in the future.
So are these sort of hangovers of the
Yeah.
last period of DC filmmaking?
Yeah.
The ones
Yeah.
that are still
Yeah,
being put
and
together.
I thought it was pretty harsh because Darkseid was going to be in the New Gods film. So basically, what they're saying is, well, Darkseid's just appeared in the Snyder Cut, so we don't really want to make this anymore. I think it's pretty harsh them saying, right, well, you want the Snyder Cut? Well, you now can't have these films. And it's like, that's not really how it works. There are, at any one time at the moment, 12 different Batmans seemingly like in development. So you can work with it. It doesn't have to be the same thing. I don't know.
Oh, I'm going to say I did watch the Suicide Squad trailer.
Oh, okay. So I was going to bring that up. You guys seen the Suicide Squad trailer?
Yeah, I mean it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I was just like, I'm really confused watching it. I really
What
am confused watching
don't
it.
you get?
Just most of it. I'm like, I actually don't recognize some of the characters. I'm like,
That's kind of the point.
that is a point, but also don't really understand anything that's going on. There was a lot of explosions, which is always fine, and it might have been just the state of mind I was in watching it. It's like, I don't know.
I don't think you really need to understand what's going on.
Yeah, like they're not going to give up any kind of like massive plot details in a teaser trailer.
Like, I don't really have any idea what they're actually up against in this.
Yeah, that's
Starro.
actually.
By the looks of things, Starro, a giant starfish.
Well, yeah, but I think that's like that's not the main villain.
I wouldn't want to face a giant starfish because they can regenerate. Lots of
That's
arms.
That's part of this. That's part of his powers.
Yeah.
If you want to
would
know
be.
more about that, we do go into detail on the Suicide Squad trailer on Marveling Marvel, our other podcast. But if anyone wants to talk about it here, I'm willing to talk about it. Jack says his girlfriend, also a pirate legend, unlike Dan, is currently
Dan, is
going
pirate
through...
legend actually not that difficult to get to? Because it sounds like everyone's a pirate legend. I'm just saying. Is it one of those
Where's my
achievements you get
notebook?
after like just
Playing
doing
it
the second
forever.
level? I know you're very proud.
I'm
And we're very proud for you.
whatever. Anyway, she's currently going through all her PS3 games, trying to decide which ones she needs to get DLC for an update now, because at some point that won't be doable, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
Also, says if DC was smart, they should just keep all these different films going, keep their Snyderverse, make these new films. Everyone knows about multiverses.
Snyderverse.
That's the thing. That's what it's called now, the Snyderverse. And says, why not call the podcast Contemplating Comics? And the last thing Jack says, it's difficult for Dan.
Ah, very nice. Just dovetailing into this Sony stuff, I would say if you can, obviously there's the news that it's IO Interactive. Is it IO Interactive or Square Enix? Square Enix are making a Bond game based on the Hitman engine, making a new Bond game. And there's been sort of some new news coming from it. I would just say this. But can't do too much. Yeah, there are. Get it out of that gold light. That is one of the better PS3 games that I own. Bloodstone 007. That is good. It's got Daniel Craig's actual likeness in it. It's very good.
It's got a picture of Daniel Craig in it, is what you said then.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's actually him. Sort of. It's not really sort of coming through very nice. Very good game though. Very good. His mobile phone is that Sony phone, the Sony Ericsson that he was using in Casino Royale.
I had one of those. That was a cracking phone.
It was a great phone. I had one as well.
Amazing, like the first phone with an actual good camera on it.
Oh, it was blinding. It was so good. And when you got it out, I remember it had a really big screen and just like a really small kind of keypad at the bottom with a little left-right toggle.
And a nice little sort of, you turn the camera on by like sliding a little lens protector off the back.
Yeah, really cool.
Does anyone want a cat? She's just turned the TV on now. That's why I just had to go and turn the TV off.
No, I'm all right.
Say yes.
I'm literally drowning in pussy over here. I'm kidding. Obviously. I mean cats, pussy cats.
Because I missed it, Dan says, will Skyrim be playable in the Xbox mini fridge?
I mean, yeah, you just sellotape a switch to the front of it.
And Jack says that Nightfire is the best Bond game ever.
I mean,
yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, fuck off. It's GoldenEye on the 64.
Yes. Thank you.
I mean, of the, I don't know. I mean, I would say that as a fully voiced, fully interactive, proper kind of Bond game of the modern era, I would say that Nightfire is definitely the best of those.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's the best one since GoldenEye?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the best one is still GoldenEye?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I don't know. I have some feelings
not in a sense like if you play GoldenEye now, it's not great because things have just moved on so much. like it controls awkwardly. The camera doesn't work properly. But just in terms of how good they were at the time, it shits on anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. That's correct. You can carry on then.
News.
House.
Suicide Squad director David Ayer is fighting for the Ayer cut.
Getting very tired of all this.
Me too.
I don't want to
need a
have opinions
haircut.
on these things. I'm also out of focus. There we go.
Oh my god,
I just
no one
resent
cares.
having to, like, care about these things. So fuck it. If he wants to, they can all go and do whatever they want to their movies. That's fine. Just don't make me watch them.
He said this about his film. It's an amazing movie. It just scared the shit out of the executives.
What film is it? What film is this?
Suicide Squad.
The original one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. You can't do anything
It's
with that
fucking
movie.
awful. It's
Don't
a dreadful
bother.
film. The thing with the reason they redid the Snyder Cut, and whether you love the Snyder Cut or you're kind of
Sensible.
it's okay, whatever. The reason they did it was because he didn't make that film. Essentially, there was a film that he was making, and Joss Whedon finished it.
Yeah. Also, they
So,
wanted to
yeah.
sell HBO Max subscriptions.
Yeah. So they released a version that would be, this is what I would have done with the Snyder Cut. That makes sense. David Ayer was always the director of that
Yeah,
shite
he just
film.
wants another go.
Exactly, yeah. So bin it off, get rid of it. We've got a new Suicide Squad film coming out that looks much better than that one.
Well, that's what I mean. To make something good out of the Suicide Squad movie, you'd need to remove almost all the characters,
Yeah.
change the plot, change the location, change the
Yeah.
director, and that's basically what they've done with the next one anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You don't
It's
need-
already
you
done.
don't need- it would only really need 80% of it changed.
Hmm.
You know, just 80% of it to make
Yeah,
it
it's
the best
the best
Mhm.
20%.
of the
Yeah.
Suicide Squad films. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not biting. Supernatural's Jensen Ackles to play Batman in Batman: The Long Halloween. I'm just excited that we're getting an animated version of The Long Halloween, which is one of my favorite Batman stories.
Okay.
That's-
This is going to be another
That'd be
animated
cool.
one, yeah.
Yeah, they're very good at that. So yeah. So, I mean, there's not much to add to that, I suppose.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm.
Do you know when that's due to arrive?
Some point this year, apparently. I don't know. Some point, probably.
Nice.
Thor: Love and Thunder adds Russell Crowe to the sequel cast.
Amazing.
He's
Okay,
around,
cool.
isn't he? Get him on board.
Yeah, you seen all the pictures of them watching? Was it like an Aussie Rules football match or something?
Yeah, and Jeff Goldblum was there as well,
Yeah. And
which
Natalie
means
Portman
we're
was
probably
there
going to
as
get
well.
more. Huh? Yeah, but it means we're probably getting more Grandmaster in the next Thor film,
Yay!
which I'm kind of for. So yeah, exciting news. This is oldish news. Cyberpunk 2077 gets its 1.2 patch. Tom, yours got its 1.2 patch, didn't it?
It certainly did.
Yeah.
And it destroyed all my save games.
So
Which
I
is
do actually
annoying.
want to play this game at some point, but it sounds like you shouldn't start at the moment because every time there's a patch, it fucks everything up for everybody.
Well, I'm actually very lucky because what happened by some quirk of fate is it destroyed all of my local save games. But because of how GOG distributes the game version of it that I got, luckily I was able to download some of the save games from the cloud, and one of the auto saves about 2 hours behind where I was, luckily loaded up and has remained quite stable. So I have been able to catch up with it. I will say, it's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. This whole game. It's utterly broken in so many ways. Like I can't explain. I know I send photos through to you guys every now and then of someone, glitching into the scenery or a bloke standing very proudly on the back of a sofa, looking like a bit of a knob. But I cannot tell you how fundamentally broken the game is. But it doesn't really detract from the immense quality of the writing, some of the quests are superb. It never quite reaches the writing brilliance of The Witcher 3, but it certainly is better in terms of writing than most games out there. It's just a real shame because a lot of people will be forever turned off it. I think a PC Gamer summed it up perfectly. They said, if you thought that 1.2 was going to give you the version of this game to start playing, you were wrong. Wait until, eventually there'll come a time where they'll just be like, it's probably just worth playing now. But I think PC Gamer have been quite good about it. They're like, it's fixed some stuff, but some people have experienced no crashes whatsoever. I'm one of the unlucky people who experienced floods of crashes and then all my save games got destroyed. What the fuck? I mean...
Can you at least choose if you install it, or is it one of those ones where it just goes, this is updating now?
It's one... No, you can. I mean, you can... The GOG platform allows you to select whether updates are automatic or kind of, you manage them as they come through. So I could have waited if I wanted to, but I tend to just keep everything on automatic update. So, yeah.
Maybe one to come back to in a year or so.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Series X version.
Yeah, ironically, 12 months on, it will probably be quite a stable game.
You still can't buy a fucking Series X or a PS5, can you?
I mean, they exist, but they're hard to get hold of, yeah.
They're never in stock anywhere.
Yeah. I love the fact that you've gone all old man crossing your arms about this, going, those PS5s, those...
It was on Newsbeat that it's all the... Oh, what they're called. Dodgy people selling them.
Scalpers.
That's it, scalpers.
Those bastards.
The Nintendo Switch, anyone that's got a Nintendo Switch online will be getting a free copy of Pac-Man 99. So much like Tetris 99, which is the Battle Royale Tetris game, you've got Pac-Man 99, which is a Pac-Man Battle Royale game. If it's anything like Tetris 99, it will be a lot of fun, and I will be swearing a lot at the Switch. But I fucking love Pac-Man, and I love the idea of playing against 98 other people whilst playing.
Waka. Yeah. Who doesn't love it?
Yeah. And it's free if you've got Nintendo Online, so play it.
An opportunity to show how 98 people are better than you at a game at once, just like Tetris 99 was.
Ah, fuck, he's off on one now, isn't he? He's winning about all this.
Do you know what just always play that? Like, you think, I'm doing quite well, and then suddenly you just get...
Oh, yeah. Tetris 99, just... I always think I'm doing okay, and then someone notices I might be doing okay, and then just ruins it. So yeah. Okay, big news.
Big news.
The Obi-Wan Kenobi film has announced its cast. Some big names here.
I still can't I can't quite remember the point at which this went from everyone saying, "Wouldn't it be cool if they did this?" to it actually happening.
Yeah.
It seems to just sort of slip seamlessly from one to the other, but it does seem to actually it's actually really happening, isn't it? With some actual real people in it.
Yep.
It's going to be quite good.
So Hayden Christensen is back as Darth Vader.
I mean, there's also that.
It's a bad start.
Might have gone to acting school.
Maybe
he's not an awful actor. He's not a great actor.
In other news, though,
he is an actor.
Bonnie Piesse played Beru Lars, and Joel Edgerton, who played Owen Lars, they're back as well. Also in it, Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah,
personal favourite of mine. I love that guy. Rupert Friend. Who else we got here? Indira Varma, who you would have heard on some of those audiobooks.
It's in Game of Thrones.
Yep, and also on, was it the Brink audiobook, or was it the Halo Jones audiobook? I can't remember.
I think she's in Brink. Can't remember.
Yeah, that we've just been listening to. And obviously, the one, the only, Ewan McGregor reprising the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just kind of wish we could talk to him about it, don't you?
I know, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Be really handy, yeah.
Oh.
You're right, Tom.
You're looking peaky there.
Yeah, just all of a sudden come over a bit weird.
This little performance gets like 30 seconds longer every time.
Yeah, I think I might just pop to the loo for a sec. I'm just going to turn my camera off, just go blank for a second, just so people don't have to see, that stuff.
Because it's behind that door and You would leave it pointed straight at you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh.
Tom is like a cat. He will get up, walk around, and show his arsehole on camera.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Both of my children seem to like to maintain direct eye contact through any sort of movement. So maybe he's just
watching
like
the league.
Sometimes when I shit, I come. Keep eye contact. Happy New Year. Some of our watchers have said, oh my goodness.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, boys.
Hello, how's it going? Yeah.
I'm joining you from actually on the set of Obi-Wan right now. We're actually filming
In Tatooine, yeah?
in Tatooine.
Yeah. You're very tightly cropped this picture, Ewan.
Yeah,
It means
absolutely.
you have to
Well,
get right up in front of the lens, don't you?
I really do. I think I underestimated the field of view of this camera, which seems to be slightly wider than I anticipated. But it's delightful to be here again. I'm also, very very happy with how things are going. My trailer is, of course, the largest on the set of Obi-Wan. So yeah. Anyway. What sort of treasures can I discuss with you about this fantastic series that's going on?
How are you coping with the sand?
Well, as you'd expect, the sand is pretty much everywhere, especially the lower segments of my undercrackers.
So the TV series is set 10 years after Obi-Wan lands in Tatooine.
Absolutely, yes.
What can we expect from this? Like the rumors are we might get like a really super young Luke Skywalker, maybe targeting the Womp Rats. What can we expect from this TV series?
Well, all sorts of things. I mean, as you know, 10 years. Once again, that leaves quite a big gap for people to fill the stories of all sorts of things. And in fact, we're hoping it's going to be a series of flashbacks to Obi-Wan acclimatizing to the heat, getting heat stroke. Dehydration, the discovery of the equivalent of coconut water, and keeping himself moisturized, and then some exciting adventures like discovering the shop very close by where he can buy all sorts of supplies and very nice things. And of course he'll be staring at Luke from a distance rather moodily, which we think is going to be very dramatic. Over the course of things. Yes, a young Luke Skywalker, of course. We'd all want to see that. And of course, Darth Vader will be in it for some reason as well. Because, Hayden has to do something for a living. And being in a Star Wars series seems to be the only thing that he could find.
I mean, obviously, you guys have worked together before. I'm guessing you guys have a close relationship?
Absolutely. Well, we've both had Jedi mullets, so we do have something in common there. Of course, mine was Attack of the Clones, his was Revenge of the Sith, and the mullets are very strong. Of course, my hair, as you can see, is very much styled as it was in the third of the prequels, and it's a miracle that it's lasted so long. I mean, the humidity does awful things to the hair. As you can tell, I'm quite annoyed.
Yeah. So how are you dealing
intense.
with the intense heat?
I'm okay actually. Thankfully, there are several people following me around with palm leaves, keeping me nice and cool, and occasionally dousing me with water. But of course, the Tunisian heat does mean that water evaporates quite quickly.
Do you get to go out on your bike at all?
Unfortunately, I don't get the chance to go out on my bike too much. But considering I am Ewan McGregor, Charlie Bowman is never far, and in fact has been staging his own Dakar rally, actually in completely the wrong part of the world, just riding round and round my tent every night, which doesn't facilitate good acting. I need my sleep.
Oh, and
for good acting.
He's stopping you getting your sleep.
He's stopping me getting my sleep, Dan. That's what's happening.
Well, maybe you could find him maybe give him a role in the series.
Yeah.
We would do that, but there are there's no call for talented, complete. I mean, the man is so untalented. He's talented at being untalented, and I don't want to give him another. He could play Anakin. To be fair, any plank of wood with eyeballs on it could play Anakin.
Okay. I mean, I think that's it, Ewan. You're staring at us really intensely right now, and I don't think I can take much more.
No, absolutely not. Well, I mean, look, it's been fantastic to be here, and I've really enjoyed being able to tell you all sorts of things about what to expect from the new series that, of course, I am starring in. And it's great to not have to lie anymore, because, of course, that's what I've had to say. People have been saying, "Is Obi-Wan something that's is Obi-Wan going to be something that we're going to see?" And I've had to say, "Oh no, but I'd love to be attached to the project and stuff like that." But now I can actually say it's going to happen. It is happening, and you will see this hair very shortly.
Which hair is
We're all
that?
very excited.
This is this hair right here. Look at that,
lovely.
lustrous flakes there. Absolutely. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. I've got to go. They're calling me on set because Charlie Borman apparently has decided that he's doing some sort of Star Wars themed cologne commercial, and I've got to stop it. I've got to talk him down from the edge. So bye, boys.
Bye, Ewan.
Take care, Ewan.
Bye. While we're waiting for Tom to come back from the toilets, Jack says play GoldenEye now and you'll realise how bad it is. Paul says I played GoldenEye the other week. He says it's ace. Dan says perfect.
I see. Hang on. So it's not that it's bad. It's that we've had 15, 20 or God knows how long it is years of development of FPS controls and cameras and things. It plays awfully now if you go into it with a modern mindset. But at the time, it was phenomenal.
Yep. Dan says Perfect Dark was the best Bond game.
Yeah, I mean, except that it wasn't, was it?
Except it wasn't a Bond game.
But yeah, I mean, it should have been.
I think he's just being deliberately controversial.
But I think they did start developing it as the sequel to GoldenEye.
Yeah,
they did.
They can keep the Bond IP. So it should have been the best Bond game.
Yeah.
I mean, it pushed the N64 hardware to the absolute limit.
Yeah, if you didn't have the little RAM expander thing that went in the front, it couldn't really deal with it.
No, Chug City. Chug City.
Jack says Joss Whedon is truly the greatest movie villain. Yeah, he's turning out to be all right bellend, isn't he? He also says that Long Halloween, I think, is due out this summer, which is nice.
Nice.
And that it was obvious that Ewan couldn't show us any of the set.
Well, he's under quite a strict NDA, isn't he?
Exactly,
We're lucky to even be able to talk to him, really.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's quite strict, yeah.
Tom, it's a shame you missed Ewan. He was really good.
I know, I'm going to have to watch it back on the stream, aren't I, to find out
I think
all the
he's obviously a
inside
fan of
info.
yours. I think he's actually got a picture of you on the wall of his trailer.
Oh.
It was just remote. He sort of moved to the side for one moment, and I'm sure that it really looked like there was a picture of you behind him.
I think occasionally
that's really sweet.
He does interviews where he holds up an A4 sheet with your face on it and pretends to be you. Yeah.
Do you know what? I mean, I find that very flattering. I really do. I do.
Paul Edge says it's half Bob Mortimer regarding Ewan McGregor as well. So yeah,
it has evolved slightly, hasn't it?
That's all the news. Do we want to know the final 64?
I think that's what we should do. We should rattle through the last 64.
Okay, in their groups as well.
Oh, hang on. Just to clarify, the last 64 movie villains from our World Cup of movie villains.
Yeah, probably best to explain it, I suppose, isn't it?
And although you're saying you're announcing them in groups, we're not doing like a group stage, really, are we? Where they all play each other.
No, so it's groups of 4.
Yes, except that it's didn't we just do like 1 and 2 play, 3 and 4 play, and then the winner of the first game and the winner of the second game? We're not doing a full group stage, are we?
Group of 4, and then 2 of those went through.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
But so
that's
in that group
It was
of
a vote of 4.
Yeah.
Team A plays Team B, Team C plays Team D. Whereas if
In
you're doing a
that
proper
group of
group stage,
4,
everyone plays everyone.
Yeah, but they're not playing anything. So all you do is you vote for your 2 favourites to go through in that group.
Oh my! Why do we have to get into this so much?
I don't know.
So-
You're the one that brought it up.
We're not doing a group stage. It's just a 64 team bracket.
Okay, so we're just doing brackets, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then
basically.
in which case,
So in fact, they're all in groups of 2.
all fucked up. So I'll just run through run through the lists then.
Last time we did do the groups of 4 of votes, so that there was people.
I
could vote.
can no, I can actually work out who's playing who. Thinking about it. Okay, you ready?
Go for it.
Okay, let's go.
Predator,
Mm-hmm.
kicking off strong there, will play Falsa Doom. Scar will play Gozer, the Gozerian.
Oh, that's already a tough one.
Darth Vader will play the Operative from Serenity.
Well, I think we know who's going to win
By
that.
Operative.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. The Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood will play Simon Phoenix.
Oh,
From
bitching.
But I
Um,
know who goes through there.
Yeah. Agent Smith will play Jason from Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors versus Biff Tannen.
Oh, that plant's going to fucking plant heaven.
Shredder versus Benedict from Last Action Hero.
Very
Um,
random.
Shredder wins.
Commodus from Gladiator versus Immortan Joe.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a tough one. I like that one.
They've got a slightly similar vibe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they got similar energy. Terminator.
Which one?
Which-
T800.
yeah, which-
No, just the regular Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
Ming versus Ming the Merciless.
Ooh.
Cyrus the Virus from Con Air. God knows how he made it through, but he
I
did.
don't think he's going to get much further than this, is he?
He's up against Saruman. That's not. He probably won't get much further than that. Hela from Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Sorry, my bad. Bruce the Shark
Yeah.
will play Clarence from RoboCop.
Okay.
Hela versus T-1000.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hans Gruber,
Mm-hmm. Is going to beat.
Hades from Hercules.
Yep.
Hans Gruber wins.
Anton Chigurh up against Hal from 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, I think Antoine might win
Oh,
that.
he has to. Pennywise, the Tim Curry version, versus Freddy Krueger.
Well done, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
The Alien Queen versus Pinhead.
Well done, Your Majesty.
Killmonger from Black Panther versus Cruella de Vil.
Interesting.
Through there.
Oh, that's tough.
Vigo the Carpathian
Who's Vigo?
versus Dracula. That's
Oh.
fucking awesome.
Oh,
Oh my god.
very on brand.
Thanos versus the Vulture from Spider-Man: Homecoming. Loki versus Annie Wilkes from Misery. Dark Helmet versus Norman Stansfield from Leon. That's completely different energy, I think, really.
Yeah.
Michael Myers. Nope, my bad, sorry. Dark Helmet. Roy Batty from Blade Runner
Mm-hmm.
versus Michael Myers. There we go. Imhotep from The Mummy
Legend.
versus Voldemort.
Ooh.
Dr. William Weir from Event Horizon versus Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas.
By the way,
Yeah.
as we know, there are no good horror movies set in space.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit. That's unreal.
That's total bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Khan
Bullshit.
versus Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Ooh.
Hans Lander versus Magneto.
Oh,
Well,
that's
come
an
on.
interesting one.
Thematically relevant,
I've-
isn't it?
Ivan Drago versus Hannibal Lecter.
Well, Lecter.
And the Emperor. No, sorry, the Kurgan.
No.
No. Versus. Oh, someone's gone wrong here. That's versus Magneto. I must have missed Nurse Ratched. I got something wrong there, so we'll figure it out. But Yeah, so that's versus Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
General Zod versus Bane.
Matron.
Sorry.
My Bane comes out as
Kenneth
Telling
Williams.
lies. The Emperor is playing the Graboids from Tremors.
That's amazing.
General Zod, the Terrence Stamp version, versus Bane. Gremlins
Mm-hmm.
versus
Noun.
Kylo Ren,
Oh no!
and the Penguin from Batman Returns versus Jafar.
Well, as you can see,
Jafar.
Nice.
That's a pretty solid list, I think.
we have a solid list there, and a few. What I would probably call, I think, quite flatteringly, some foregone conclusions and some absolute I don't know which way some of them are going to go.
No, quite solid.
Yeah, that's great. That's brilliant. Thank you for that.
Good
That's
fun.
awesome. Right. Okay. I think probably no further ado. It's probably time for us to wrap this shiz up.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much for watching us on the stream. If you've been watching, wave, everyone, wave. Wave. So wave to the YouTubers. Thank you very much. Also, if you've been listening, of course, thank you very much for listening to us as well. You can, of course, interact with us on any of our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter feeds, whatever you want to do. Just use the handle @TMTOOH. That's also the way you can find our podcast as well on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, just TMTOOH, that will find you us. Also, don't forget that Dan has been doing all sorts of podcasts, Marbling Marvel, and he's also, if you have watched the if you've watched the WandaVision series, go back and listen to the Wandering WandaVision podcast that Dan and Steve and Terry
Yes.
were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I fucked something up.
okay.
Magneto is not Magneto, it's the Joker.
It's the Joker.
Yeah,
It's not Magneto, it's the Joker.
It's Heath Ledger's Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Kick ass. Awesome. And that's definitely the one I was hoping was going to get through. Not being controversial, obviously. But if you want to be controversial with us, hit us up on the social feeds. Also, on our Instagram channel, check out the bio because there is a link to our Discord channel in there, which is filled with all sorts of conversations about all the podcasts that we do, computer games, films, hardware, TV series. There's even some Portal ARG, which we've sort of tried to kick up again. And there's also the bank setting on there as well, which is one of the channels, which will become your life if you let it, where you will earn fictional money for working or carrying out crimes or just being a bit dirty. You can play blackjack as well. It'll consume your life completely. So with no further ado, we're going to say goodbye to the TMTOOH team. Goodbye, Dan.
Bye.
Bye, and bye the cat that is bothering Dan as well.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm going to say bye to Duncan.
Bye, Tom. Bye, everyone.
We're going to say bye to Russ.
Laters, boys.
And it's bye from me, Tom. And on that note, goodbye, my sister. Let's cue the music.